Good afternoon, everyone. My presentation today is with the title "The Locke's View on Human Rights and the Challenger of the Modern Technology." Yes. In my presentation, I have two main courses. One is the Locke's view in human rights, and the second is the challenger of modern technology in Vietnam. And after that, I suggest some conclusion about my presentation. I can say that nowadays we are witnessing to emerging achievement of modern science and technology, and its practical value have a greatly for human socio-economic life. Besides, its advancement also gives many risks and challenges for human lives in the many fields. And so the modern technology change much about the human existences, human rights, and the freedom and privacy or empathy, etc. of humans. And in case in Vietnam is we are a developing country. We have not yet applied modern technologies in practice much. But however, along with the general development change of the time, Vietnam will not be outside the principle of development and will also be affected by modern technologies. Depend on each culture, different economy, political and social bodies. Each country have a different solution. However, with the impact of modern technology on human nowadays, one of the spheres of impact is human rights. I just focus on human rights, and that's modern technology's impact in the human rights. And we need to see how modern technology impacted human rights in the different ways, to what and extent, to have a basic to analyzing the effect of modern technology on the weak element of human rights. We return to the thought of John Locke, because I think now is we can say that John Locke is the first person to establish the total theology of human rights. So I choose her. I choose him to get the basic for analyze about the effect of modern technology to human rights. And of course, it's a part of my project, so I want to connect with this. And in the course of development of social and political thoughts, John Locke emerged as an insightful philosopher and politician. His idea bring out brought about important turning points, contribute to the Enlightenment period by the outlining new themes and change in political philosophy relevant to the topic of human rights. And we can see that there are too many famous philosophers after him become the continue his thought, like Montesquieu, Rousseau, Voltaire, and Machiavelli, and so on. And his thought influence had not just the time the entitlement is the in the European country, and even that impact to United States, especially the revolution in United States, and become the foundational for developing a theory of rights and governance principle in the late of 19th century to 18th century. And we wish to join in the continue explore the important topic related to John Locke's thought on human rights. Yeah. And I can tell about the John Locke to counter this unsatisfactory explanation, Locke developed and employed two theories that had in various forms exist in his day and age. One is a natural rights theory, and a second is a social contract theory. And I can tell that he focused on the human rights and life rights, right of freedom and property rights and equality and the pursuit of happiness. And they are basic factor of ensure the development of society. So for Locke, the most foundational natural rights of every human being was the right to fend for one's survival, which includes the right to concrete means that will secure one's survival. I can pass this slide, and I can show that humans are the property in their creator God. His thought. Their action and social political interactions are thus necessarily to be governed by the divine purpose developed in his glorious works of creation, the natural law. And the law of nature concept is incestuous to Locke's concept of the natural rights of humans. This law of nature refers to the order and principles of the orderless creation. As humans are also under intricate parts of creations, their faculty of reason is able to perceive and understand the law of nature. So to summarize, Locke premise is that human life in the divinely ordered creations, with the primary purpose being to survive. Other premise is that all the humans are created equal to live as the free human agents in the world. Such a premise leads Locke to postulate for fundamental natural rights of all humans: the right to life, the right to liberty, the right to health, and the right to possession. Yes, I can pass this one. So I can, in general, that it can be said that John Locke was the first person to establish the foundation for the development of the comprehensive theory of human rights. However, due to historical limitations, John Locke did not consider human rights for all the people. It just focused on the protect the right of the European men in at that time, and the right of a woman, or the right of immigration, or and the people who can earn money, low salaries. They had not given due attention at that time. And moreover, I can see the limited of John Locke thought is we can see the right of possessions. It seems like John Locke would focus on the relationship between the human with the nature, like humans have a right to explore the nature, because he thinks that the nature is the gift of creator of God, gift to people. So people have to own this. So now we can see that the conflict with the now the climate change, and we can see we can have a different view, and we can teach to nature, like like we have to protect, not like exploit. Yes. So and think that is one limited of John Locke at that time. Yeah. And based on the of course I want to focus on the human rights of John Locke, and then I can see the challenger of modern technology in Vietnam. Yeah. Now Vietnam is a fast developing economy because after đổi mới we change the policy from the planned economy to the market economy. So we have more freedom to business in economy. So undergoing major change in education, science, and user technology, and building up of the infrastructures. To mention some of the most important ones, besides the advancement of science and technology, and the overall influence of the process of globalization on the Vietnam societies. However, there are serious challenges to be coped with. The liberalization of Vietnam's economy has brought a drastic shift in the management in institutional oversight. Major social change follow suit, resulting to the considerable detrimental effect in terms of new or resurfacing social phenomenon. So I think like human trafficking, abduction of women, or the kidnap of children, or the strong certain in the domestic violence and the sexual abuse, or maybe just there. This question of the place of traditional value and human rights in Vietnam society re-imaged with the new acuteness. Yeah. So besides making the life easier, and the new and ever faster advance in science and modern technologies tend to constitute unforeseen challenges to man's self-perception, value system, interpersonal communications, or the human relationship to the natural environment, to name by few that the first. And the concern is to harness the development of the modern technology in such a way to prevent the process of the humanization from affecting human society and individuals. We ought to watchfully remember that the technologies have a far-reaching aspect on the speed and scale of the human activities that facilitate and on the patterns of human relation is introduced, modifies, and unchecked acceptance of modern technology on the mass scale can result in the forgetting the original purpose for which the given technology and invented in the first place. To prevent this from the happening, competence and intentional philosophical ethical reflection should be protected by the respected authorities in the society. And coupled with the advancement of science, technology, and the overall influence of the process of globalization on Vietnam society, however, there are serious challenges to be coped with, and their challenges carry the potential not only to destabilize the social and social cohesion but also undermines the very root of human culture on the level of family ties and interpersonal relationship. Thus, the question of the place of traditional value and human rights in Vietnam also re-emerges with the new Occultanians. Sorry my pronunciation. Yes, in addition to the social, political, and ethic discourse, their traditional value includes, among other things, a return to Curtin's traditional ritual. Yes, and I can and the nature of the in contemporary Vietnam, along with the diversity of response that take place, constitute to a challenging opportunity for scholar across disciplines to engage what many believe to be the socio-political foundation of the Vietnam society. So I want to conclusion with based on the John Locke thoughts. So we must say that the modern technology in Vietnam has not impact on the human rights as much as the developed country. I think that. However, with the initial application of modern technology in contemporary in Vietnam, applying the medical aspect and agriculture or industry and now in Vietnam, we have more than we have near 100 million people, but you can see that we have more than 64 million people use the internet, or almost they use Facebook, some the Twitter or Instagram or TikTok, but almost people use the Facebook. So and each person average using 6 hours and 42 minutes per day. Yes, too much. And they like now they use Facebook like a market, a civil society. They can show everything on this, like sell something, or like comment, or the criticize the Communist Party, or criticize the some authority. Yeah. So and they use it to connect together, and maybe that like a channel to connect each other in relationship, and sometimes they forgot to connect by the in person. Yes. So how about human rights here? When we can I can talk about the right to life. Now there is some like a gene technology and internal organ transplant technology is applied in Vietnam now. They use to replace the heart, replace the kidney and liver. Yes. But maybe in the chance, I think in the future they can use not is use another person replace for another person. They can use the like iron,
like
metal. Yes. So the right to live, we want to live for longer. We want to live, the people always want to live for longer, so they try to apply the modern technology. But I have to think about that. Besides the positive, like to help people to keep the alive of human. So with the technology like this, how about the mental of my heart? Because you can see that you can understand together. You can feel emotion, and we can like, because in can feel surprise something. or you can see the sometimes we can fall in love, and it like the heart is powering much like a touch, but with the mental heart, what happened if the mental heart? So and beside that when they I know that now in China, when they use the internal organ transplant technologies, they kidnap much people, even that they kidnap the Vietnamese person, and there is some case they can escape from China, and they tell us about that. Yes, in some case. And I think there are some forum in the international forum that talk about this problem. Yeah. So I think the right to live, but how to live? Because when we live, we want to say each other. We want to understand each other. But with now is if people replace the part of body that maybe we cannot understand, and another maybe that they don't care much about the life of another person. You know, like when they broken the leg, they can replace, okay, no problem. So maybe at that time they can hurt another, they can harm another, because they say that in the future it doesn't matter. So I think it's one of the problem of the modern technology we can need to concern. And how about the right to the liberties? What happens when each person cannot keep the private information? I remember maybe 5 years ago, they saw that the one person in Japan, the information in the morning they get out, and there are too many cameras, and they can look at what he do from in the early morning until the evening when he come back home. He can search and he can know everything. And for example, in your house, you have a very small you can ask her. Alexa.
Smart.
Yes.
Smart Chinese.
He's like a spy.
Yeah.
It
listens to
yes.
all the time.
You can listen you everything, and she knows anything you want. Yes. And maybe that something you forgot to turn off, and maybe that they know the account in banks and you lost money. Or another like a person come to in China, and when they ask about the password of Wi-Fi, but she needn't know your password. They have many lists of password, and then when she put it up, and your Wi-Fi disappear. So it means I want to say that the private information of and then modern technology can interfere the individual of our life. So in the future they maybe they put the digital chip, and they can control people. So at that time, what is about the freedom? Yeah. And I want to talk about the right to health. And there's some Zen technology in growing the plant and domestic and how to say, and it's impact the health of people, especially we can have emotional health we use the Facebook, So we cannot connect in person. Like in Vietnam now, in the special event or in the birthday, like today his birthday. But just I think that some people send him a message on Messenger and congratulations and happy birthday. But you know, in Vietnam, in the past, we will buy the flower and come and maybe we make a party and sit together and cheer and say something, and we can say to each other and like a feel the and we can understand and closer. But now we just send some message and some icon. So I think that the emotional health it reduce so much, and sometimes they make the people like poor emotion, very poor emotion, and then sometimes they make the people like feel lonely, and so that's why then now there are too many cases want to suicide, and you can see like because of pandemic they stay at home and they don't connect each other much. So like in Vietnam, the case of the teenager want to suicide much. It's a problem now in Vietnam, I think. So what about the rise of processions? And I can see that they yes, like spy is still individual information, and so they can steal money from the bank from. So that's why it's the your possession when we own properties. We make the problem when we own the property. And another way, I have to see that the gap of the rich people and the poor people now is the gap is more distant, more so fast. And I think this one the reason they do that, because modern technology in the hand of the group people, and they can control and they can earn money, and the poor people like just work for them. So I think it's one the problem. So I think that is the problem for the human rights impact the technology now in Vietnam and even in the world. And thank you very much for
Thank you for your presentation, Irva. Oh, you can please remain there. Comments and questions.
Yeah. Sorry.
You wanted to escape
Yes.
from the hot seat.
Yes.
This was again a valuable presentation from a totally different context. Yes, culturally and historically, the Vietnamese context, and yet we saw many similarities. So the challenges that you described, we feel the pressure, we feel the same challenges. Maybe they are expressed a bit differently in our societies, but we have to struggle with the same. So you reminded us of the potential dangers of these new technologies, and you said how they can affect the basic human rights, as you quoted them from John Locke and the Western tradition. You also mentioned the term civil society, which is a bit sensitive, I know, in your context, and it's a forbidden word in Chinese, in the Chinese context. I'm not sure if it's not becoming forbidden now in Vietnam also to speak openly about the civil society, maybe. It's becoming harder, yeah?
Yeah, I know civil society that I think it's still developed. We cannot forbidden that because people want to join the group and have social community group of people.
Mm-hmm.
But because there is some problem. Because when they join each other, when the big group and with a big leader there, maybe they can, and then people believe him, believe the leader. And yes, so they're afraid that when the leader says something, all the people in this group always believe him. So if the leader support Communist Party, it's okay, but if not, maybe it's a problem. So that's why after in the past we let the societies more free, but now they are a bit the conflict with some group, some organization. So now they still let them to do the charity, do the something in their group, but they forbid to write and to public. Like we cannot write about the civil society. Sorry about that, because they don't want to develop it much. Yeah.
It can become opposition.
Yeah.
So I wonder, so we are opening the section for questions and remarks. And, if I may, I would like to start by asking about transhumanism directly, whether this is discussed now in Vietnam. Did you see any Communist Party members officially, or politicians officially using this term in Vietnam?
Sorry that you are recording me. Okay.
So I should stop recording now?
If you want to be you want to be concerned about